This is my first retreat. In fact, I had a very short leeway to make the decision, and I came from a business trip, and from Philippines I traveled over to here because, again, I wanted to feel the encouragement. I wanted to feel this group positivity. I wanted to learn more than what I'm learning, and based on what I see, there's opportunities to learn a lot, and indeed I wasn't disappointed. There's so many new ideas. I met so many new people that I think I'm encouraged on this investment journey and trading journey.
In Singapore, we lead very busy life, right? So I wanted to come to this retreat to have a session to proper lock in, to focus on just learning, absorbing, trading, so that my results can get better. I love it. I think the team made a very good, organized a very good retreat for every one of us. Had lots of, the speaker lineup was great, had lots of learnings, had lots of takeaways, and I think personally it really helped me in my whole journey in investing. I think it's the whole concept of just having a session where you can, where I can block out all distractions and just focus on getting the results.
It's my second retreat, and I really enjoy the community, the learning, the sessions. It's always new ideas, up-to-date items.
It's been completely eye-opening. I'm amazed at how fantastically the operations are run. I'm very impressed with how the business is run. But aside from that, there's been a lot of learnings, met a lot of amazing people, great insights, some golden nuggets of wisdom over the past couple of days. I think it's important to be exposed to all of these different facets. There's so many instruments out there, there's so many different ways to get to a final destination. But then once you're exposed to these multiple channels and ways and journeys, you then have the power in your capability to craft your own journey. So that to me has been very eye-opening the past couple of days.
I've been to the first retreat, in Batam. Every country has a different culture, so I get to taste a little bit of each one every time I go to a different one.
For me, the live trading, practical hands-on live trading, that's the most interesting for me. I learned a couple of small breakthroughs. Again, just by doing live trading, I learned a few tips and tricks that I can apply to my own trading style.
There's lots of sharing and lots of trading action, right? So in Singapore, I cannot fully focus on doing the activities, but here you can really follow the speaker, follow the coaches, execute the trades, and just becoming more proficient in trading.
I think all the sessions are really inspiring, and I think what I would take away is what Fang Ying shared about the algo trading. Yeah, it's something that I actually did dabble in it a little bit, like using Pine Script, all those, but I think what she taught really made me more motivated to continue trying.
Hanging out with the speakers, having the diamond dinner, getting airtime with some of these extremely successful people in their own portfolios, right? Some in real estate, some property, some crypto, some US stocks, and so on, and just learning, identifying some of their mistakes, challenges, their biggest breakthroughs, what has allowed them to sort of scale it to the next level, and hearing some of these things. I think the interactions with the speakers have really been useful and valuable.
Why should you join the retreats by MWA? Is because you get to experience different cultures in different countries, and also you learn a lot from the different speakers that come. Okay, each speaker, they are so mind-blowing, like you never knew it existed until you come for the retreat. Okay, all this. So join us and you will learn a lot more than just crypto.
There are quite a number of positive things I took away from this retreat. Right now, at the end of it, I made a lot of new friends. I think, if we trade as a team, as a community, that would be very helpful. It gives me the push and accountability as well. I believe I found an accountability partner. I've met many of the people from MWA, the coaches as well. Having that face-to-face time, I think is very critical. And again, I had a lot of small aha moments along the way, along the corridor. I stopped a coach and asked a question. It really helped me a lot. So I would really recommend coming for the retreat.
Just block out the time, just come. It will definitely benefit you from your trading journey, and also importantly, it's a getaway, and you get to know all the community members, get to know all the coaches, the staff on a more intimate level, which will definitely help in your trading journey and helping you to make money through trading.
When you have a community around you physically, it's really motivating, and you're really, I think it really, when you go back, it will really encourage you to keep striving, and you really learn a lot from the retreat, from many speakers and different instrument of investments. Yeah, so do join the next retreat.
Through the retreat, being a diamond, having access to the speakers, the different coaches, airtime, proximity, getting to learn from them, I think is something super crucial. So during the retreat itself, there's so many opportunities to go and meet with these people, spend some time, understand from them, speak with them, ask the right questions, ask the wrong questions, get some of the insights, and most importantly is then get the confidence to take the action after that, and not just get all of this wisdom and then just sit on it, but also about actually taking that big right step and making that action after the retreat is over.
Biggest bonus and takeaway is that I enjoyed it so much, and I think that a lot of students and a lot of the community members I spoke to as well also enjoyed it a lot, benefited them a lot. So the biggest takeaway is that I want to join the next retreat.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's AMA session. Right. First of all, just a room check. So if you can see me and hear me clearly, please type anything in the chat box. All right, start to see comments coming. Thank you, guys. Oh. Right. Good evening. All right, okay. I think we are all set. Okay, good to go. All right, thanks. So thanks for replying. So just for people who join our YouTube AMA for the first time, right, just for your information, right, for YouTube live streaming, the comment, there will be some lag. So usually when I see your comment is like half a minute later, right? That's why my reply usually like come a bit later, right? So bear with that. All right, so now I see a lot of people ready in a room. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with tonight's session. All right, can I have my screen put up? Yeah. Okay, guys, so I hope last week, right, this week, right, with the good market recovery, you all enjoyed trading, right, seeking for all the long opportunities, right? Anyone did long, right? Do type L in the chat box for me. Okay, so as we always start with, right, knowing that today is already Friday, usually over the weekend, right, we advise the best thing is to actually stay away from the market. Don't look at your trading view, don't look at your computer, go enjoy your weekend with your friends or families. All right, but that being said, right, Friday is always a good time to look back to review our trade we have done in the past 1 week, as well as get ready for what's coming, like in the coming week, right, to get yourself ready, right, before we dive into trading again after the weekend. Okay, all right, I see some L. Okay, good. All right, so without further ado, let's look at the market events first, right? So we all know that for crypto trading, we always do pay attention to all the important financial events that might cause market and volatilities in the week, right? So it's always good to mark down the dates that have events upcoming, right? That will affect the market, so that we avoid trading on those days if you're not the fan of trading a very volatile market. So if we look at the calendar coming week, right, happening next week, we have quite an eventful 2 days at the very beginning of the week, which is Tuesday and Wednesday, 14 and 15 of July. We have core CPI and our Fed chairman talking, right? So both of these events, right, do usually induce market volatility, especially slightly during the meeting timing happening, right? So if you are ready to start trading next week, right, make sure if you open trades on Monday, right, make sure you manage your trade before Tuesday 8 p.m. coming, so that your trade doesn't suddenly change your direction due to market volatility and go against you. So if you happen to open a trade on, let's say, Monday, right? If Tuesday towards evening, right? If you are already in profit, do take some and then reduce your risk by moving your stop loss, right? Otherwise, also make sure you have a stop loss in place. So even if there's sudden change of direction of your trade, you are protected, right? So your max potential loss is kept. So that is definitely within something that you are comfortable of risking. Right, so Tuesday and Wednesday, mark the date. Now let's look at the market together. All right, so usually if we talk about general market movement, we can definitely refer to Bitcoin, because as we all know, right, 99% of the coin, or generally most of the coin in the market, usually follow Bitcoin's movement. So we can see June definitely didn't end very well, because it had a huge correction towards last week of June, right? We crashed the 60K, 61K support, right? And then it had almost entire week of consolidation around the 60 to 58K range, right? It actually like retested the 58K support quite a few times before it finally bounced off and then come back up, right? So as we can see, this week, right, after it managed to close above the 62K last week, then this week it actually continued to go up from there. And on the bigger time frame, for our time frame, we can see actually a shift of the trend from the previous last 2 weeks downtrend shifting into an uptrend, right? And we are having the EMAs crossing up to show a stabilizing uptrend movement. Okay, so this week, right, if you are at the in the market trading long from the beginning of the week, right, every time when it bounce off and retest the 61K support one more time, right, that gives us the opportunity to profit from long. But only one thing is, right now, as you can see, now we are on Friday, end of the week already, and Bitcoin has just reached again at the 64K range, 64.7K range of resistance, right? So now that we are very near resistance, it will be a good idea, right, to start to be more cautious towards opening long new positions, basically, right? So right now, as we zoom in a little bit, you can see we are very it's in the current candle, right, which start at 8 o'clock, right? It won't conclude until 12, so it's too soon to see. We don't know. But right now, since we are very near to the resistance, right, then we are expecting two scenarios to happen. One is at 12 o'clock, if it actually close above, right, breakout of the 64.7, which basically about 60, like if we see it approaching 65K, then potentially we can expect more upward movement, right, towards next resistance. But if by 12 o'clock, either it get rejected and actually close with a bearish candle, or it start at resistance, then that definitely give us a direction of no go for opening long positions. Right? So right now we still got 2 hours, almost 3 hours to go. So it's too soon to tell. Even if we zoom into the smaller time frame, right, we can see just now it was close red, but this candle is like not as rich, right, as we want it to be to give us a more confirmation trade, right? This one is doji with a slightly longer body, right? So in that case, we will not. Personally, I won't regard this as a confirmation of a rejection yet, right? So instead of jumping to the conclusion, right, and start shorting or anything, right? This is definitely not the scenario I want to see, right? Because either it break above, then from 65 and above to all the way to next resistance, which is about 67K, that will be our range to long, right, for the coming week. But if it get rejected, then we look back at the current support line, right? We can see that previously Bitcoin has already closed above the 200K, right? 200 MA. So although we haven't got enough lows, but potentially we are seeing a formation of an uptrend movement, right? So if later the candle close red and showing a rejection from this resistance, right, we definitely will not jump into short bias just because of that. Because let's say over the weekend, right, if the price does come down, right, to this range, which is where the current support line and the 200 MA and our trend line sits, right? As long as it does not break below, right, that means it doesn't go below or close below the 62K, right, I will still wait to see whether there will be any chance for it to bounce back up from this confluence area, about this area, right? Because if this area holds as a support, right, then that means it depends. I don't know right now, but none of us have a crystal ball to know how many hours does it take or how many candles will that take, right? But if it does come down and actually show a good rebound later, right, hopefully over the weekend, then coming week, right, we probably can look for an opportunity to re-enter a long position, right? Because if it pull back, many of the coin, especially those who pumped these 2 days, right, we can also expect them to have a pullback, have a nice price correction, and then bounce back up from there. All right, so right now, if this scenario happen, right, then obviously over the weekend, what should we do is simply to wait, right, for it to see whether it can bounce back up or break down, right? But if later on it does close above, right, then that will be more straightforward. That means by then I will expect more coins to break out along the way, because as you can see, right, many other coins at the moment are very similar to Bitcoin, right? They are all hitting the resistance already. So whether are they gonna come down to retest a support or break out from there, right? It basically all align with where Bitcoin sits now. Okay, so that means right now it's definitely a waiting game. There's no point to rush into placing a trade. But if let's say you are already in a long trade like me, right? I'm in two long trades now, right? then obviously I need to wait for 12 o'clock to see whether it get rejected or a breakout. If it break up, then definitely I have more room for the price to go up. Then that's where I will get to hit my TP, right, within this day, within today, right? But if it get rejected, right, then before it go up and hit my TP, then book it. What I need to do is probably wait for the coin to pull back and hopefully bounce before it hit my stop loss and continue go up from there and hit my TP eventually. And that would probably take many hours, right? So over the weekend, it's gonna be a waiting game for me. All right, so that's what I see from the current market now, right? So like I suggest, like I mentioned just now, so you can see a lot of like big cap coins are very similar to Bitcoin, right? They are at the resistance now. And same thing if we look into the smaller time frame, right? The candle that closed at 9 o'clock just now, it does show a kind of red bearish candlestick pattern, right? In fact, if you look at Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, this is definitely a bearish engulfing, right? So I might be expecting the coins to pull back first before it go back up again, right? If you look at Ethereum, it's even clearer here, right? So same thing. If over the weekend it were to go down, right? And the waiting game is for us. The waiting game is for us to see whether when it pull back to the support, does it bounce back up or not, right? If it does, right, then that will actually give me a very good opportunity to enter another long, right, when it rebounces, right? Actually, Ethereum chart looks very nice to me, right, on 1 hour right now, right? You can see it actually has previously, when it break down, it was bouncing along the 200 MA, right, with almost a not so regular triple top pattern. And then now it broke out and went up all the way, right? So obviously, if you didn't catch the breakout this morning, which is about 10 o'clock, right, then when it's pumping, then probably you won't have a chance to enter along here. Then if that's the case, when it actually pull back and bounce back up, that will give you a better opportunity to enter along, right? Either that, or if later on it break up, then that will be another long setup. Okay, so it chart is looking good to me at the moment, right? So if it does pull back, then as I said, it will probably take quite a few candles to do that. Then over the weekend, if I'm not trading, then I can just leave it to play out and see what happens after. Okay, right. So right now, okay, so that's what I see from the market. Same, now we are ready for the AMA session, right? So if you have any existing trade or past trade that you want to analyze together, right? Do tell me what are the coin, which coin, right? The name of the coin, the time frame you are looking for, and your direction of look that you're looking for, long or short. If it's a past trade you want to go through with me, then let me know where do you enter and where do you put your stop loss and TP. All right. While waiting for you long Ethereum this morning, yeah, Yin Link. Well, good for you. You long at 10 o'clock when it break out, is it? This morning, or even earlier. Earlier it's all red candle. So if you long here, then very good, right? It was a very nice run. I don't know. So let's say you enter when this candle close, so roughly around this range. So as it hit, like even the basic rule of trading, we enter at the support and then TP at resistance. That's about almost 2% profit. I mean, I know the percentage doesn't sound like a lot, but this is Ethereum we are talking about, right? Ethereum and Bitcoin, generally you don't expect much of the movement. But having said that, that means your stop loss also not that far, right? So typically you can get almost a 0.8 risk to reward ratio. But let's say if when a just break out the time, you actually manage to enter during at market price, then your risk to reward ratio can even be better. Okay, but just now when it hit the 1008, do you manage to take some profit and de-risk your trade already? Oh, you haven't TP. Okay, nice. Right, so just now, I mean, as you can see, right, it already hit the resistance, right? So if we continue to break out, then of course you have more upside to go, right? But compared to Bitcoin, which the candle is less bearish, this does look more of a rejection candle to me, right? So if I were you, I would definitely at least take half of the position out with the profit I'm having now, right? If I want to bet on it breaking out this tonight, right, I won't want to bet on the full position, right? So because once I TP some here, right, I can de-risk by moving my stop loss up also, right? So even if later it doesn't break out and then come back all the way down, right, I still have some profit. Because if it come down, right, there's a chance it go somewhere around your entry price, so end up the whole day you hold the trade but end up break even only, right? Because if it does come down, then there's a chance I can re-enter when it bounce back up, maybe a few days later or many hours later, right? But if you do see the opportunity of it break up, then leave half of the position, right, to see whether it happens. If you already took some profit, then good lah, right? So leave whatever position size percentage you're comfortable with to see if it can break up. Okay, and let me let me switch over the chat box so I can see properly. Okay. Right. Okay. Do the EMAs add like strong support and resistance like 200 MA? Okay, yes and no, right? Because on the 200 MA itself, definitely, as you can see, it always act as a strong support and resistance. EMA wise, the shorter time frame of the EMA, right? That means like compared to 20 EMAs, right? 10 EMAs definitely move alongside with the price a bit closer, right? That's why you can see on the chart, usually when the price pull back and look for a support, they pull back to the bigger EMAs like 50, right? Compared to 10 and 20. If you look for them as support resistance, usually that's why when like price retrace on a trending mode, right, we refer to the area between 21 to 50 as a retracement zone, because based on the data we collected, right, usually the price moves retrace into the pocket or area or zone, whatever you call it, between these two EMAs, and then bounce from there. Okay, but of course that also depends on particular coin, right? Very simply, if you always look back in the past, right, you realize certain coin, they respect 50 EMAs or 10 EMAs or 21 EMAs as a support or resistance better compared to other coin. Like for example, if you look at Ethereum, you realize sometimes it doesn't respect the whole 50 EMA as a support. It actually retraces a lot more before it pull back up. Then obviously for this kind of coin, you won't say, okay, this 50 EMA serves as a very strong support for Ethereum, right? So in that case, we disregard it as such. But if you see a coin, let's see, Do we have one that actually does that? Not really. Yeah, so you can see tau, right? Similar, right? It almost always pierce through the other EMAs, but only react to 200 MA, right? Then in that case, definitely you can say, okay, for this coin, like 10 or 21 or 50 EMAs, any of those EMAs we use, right, are not serving as a strong and support resistance. Okay. Okay, let's go through the traits you all want me to analyze. Mina. Mina, you entered at 10 a.m. yesterday. Yesterday is Thursday. Thursday night, 10 a.m. here. You enter a shop, I assume. Hey guys, you want to go through the trade, do let me know the trade direction you are taking, okay? So yeah, entry at 4497. Yeah, so I assume it's a short because it looks to me like a breakdown from the 200 MA. Okay, good. Let me see. So you enter here. Let's see stop loss, you put above at least a recent lows, a recent highs. So now you are in profit. So looks like here is a support line, right? So if just now, right, if I look back, this also one of the potential support line forming here. So if just now when you go down to this support, you have not take profit, this is definitely, now that it come back down again, right, this is definitely a point. If I'm in the trade still, right, I will take some profit. Okay, then if it continue to break down, then I look back to the past, see how much lower and what are the potential support I can look for as like lower take profit point, right? So about maybe here, right? Then about here also, right? So all the support you can find from the past could potentially be your take profit, right? But at this moment, you're definitely in profit, right? If you enter here, right, then this is definitely a support forming. So same thing as Ethereum, right? Since we are in profit now, do take some, right? For the Ethereum holder, Yan Lim, he or she, sorry, expecting the Ethereum to break above. For your case, you are expecting it to break down, right? Either way, so now since you are right at it, right, let's de-risk so that no matter which, either it pull back or it continue to drop, right, you are definitely gonna make some profit. Okay, but this is a very nice breakdown, right? It closed below the 200 MA, right, and it's not like too far, so your entry is pretty close to the 200 MA, to the major support. Why not enter a short with stop loss above the resistance? You can, yeah, it just that, in CRP, this is what we call, like, so when on an uptrend, you see a price hitting the resistance, it definitely is a way to trade, right? It's called short from the resistance down, right? But if you short on an uptrend, is what we call to short against the trend, which is something that we do not recommend and teach our students to do. Okay, right? So we always prefer to trade with the trend because we want the trend of the market to be our friends rather than our enemies. But if you ask, okay, simply based on short at the resistance rule, right? Could it be potentially a short setup? Yes. Okay. But based on the data we've been collecting, right, we realize the win rate and the profitability of trading with the trend is higher. So we don't trade against the trend. Okay. Am I able to show how you take partial profit and put stop loss to the entry price? Whichever exchange you use, right, you just choose to close the position. Let's say, doesn't matter, you want to close 20%, 50% with the price you want to take profit at, and then stop loss, right? You can move manually. So for example, let's say you long Ethereum, right, at this price, let's say about 1768, right? So after you, let's say, you close certain percentage at the current price, let's say 1008, right? Then you make sure you change your stop loss price slightly higher than your entry price. So if you long at 1767, simply change the stop loss to whichever value you feel comfortable or happy with. Okay. Can I take a look at Sweet? Is in the position. Yeah, let me open Sweet first. It's in the position of waiting for EMAs to cross 200 MA. Are you referring to 1 hour chart? Because yes and no, right? You can see the 6 o'clock candle, right? If you are looking at 1 hour chart, it closed above the 200 MA, right? And you know EMA, how it works is it follow the price movement, right? So usually the price break above first, and then the EMAs will follow if the price continue to go up. Are they pointing up? Yes, EMAs are seemingly going up, right? But for it to cross the EMA, possible, but they are not that close yet, right? So for this to actually cross above to 200 MA, it might take a few more hours to happen, right? And that's provided the candles, which is the price, keep going up, right? Because there is still some distance. But of course, if later there's one candle suddenly pump a lot, then the 10 EMAs, which is a more frequent one, right, it will go up faster, right? But at this moment, I like compared to just now, remember we look at Bitcoin, right? So when Bitcoin, look back a bit. Yeah. So previously, you see when the candle, when the EMAs are approaching 200 MA, right, it actually still takes some time for it to eventually cross it, right? And that's with like a lot of upside for the candles. So I would say potentially, yeah, they are pointing up and on the way to go up. But for it to cross I don't see it happen that soon, unless we have like 1 or 2 very long green candle. Otherwise, it might take some time. Deja vu, yeah. The Mina breakdown trade is a good trade, and now you are already in profit. So take some. Your TP was where? Yeah. Your TP is oh, that's even lower than okay, 4073. Whoa, okay, all the way down. Okay, about here lah. Okay, I hope that's your final TP and not your one and only TP. That's a very optimistic TP. That means you need to drop all the way to the old support. Right. Not say impossible, right? Since you already take some profit, then move your stop loss, right? So just let it drop lor, if it can, right? But if you want to take profit along the way lah. So even if it doesn't hit 4074, 4073, right? You still make some along the way, right? Because that's a very low price. That's how many percent? 9% drop, right? Because one thing is you need to see, right, this coin, right? Generally, when it break down or just start to drop, does it drop that much or not? Like for example, because you see from your entry, when this one got rejected and come down, right, it has already dropped. It has, it has already dropped 15% from the 16% from the top, right? So you expect it to drop another 9%. That's total of a 20% drop. You see whether does it happen very often, right? You see this time it dropped 20%. This one 14, right? So it's good to be optimistic, but also to be prepared. Okay, because remember, as I said, if Bitcoin later actually break out, right, then there's a chance for the market to pump up even higher. Yeah, move stop loss to break even or slightly in profit, right? Because right now, okay, because although it's dropping, right, your highs are still actually above your entry, right? So the recent high is here. So if you put your stop loss at break even, it will be around this level, right? So if a pullback, right, then there will be a chance for it to hit because your entry is about here, right? It's still within the trend, right? So if you wanna put it with break even, right, or slightly in the profit, so that when it pull back, right, you got more left in the pocket, then that would be more ideal lah. Okay, another one, BTC. Okay, let's see BTC. BTC, Helena, wow, you wake up very early, 5 a.m. in the morning, you long Bitcoin. Oh, okay, here, okay, good. This one I would consider as a breakout trade bar, right? Because this one here is a mini double bottom. Yeah, that's my arrow. Like that. So 5 a.m. this candle kind of closed above the net line, right? I assume that's how this trade was happened. Entry is 63342. Yeah. Recently or today my chart a bit hanging. 63342. Wait, I will omit the decimal place. Okay, yeah, so about here, right? Consider did it close above? 5 o'clock. Okay, so you waited for this candle to close lah, right? Then enter maybe slightly above, but okay, this candle, I will draw my neckline here. About 250 like that. So definitely the candle was closed above my neckline, right? So entry anything above within this candle is fine, right? So you enter long and your TP is aiming for 645. Oh, so you close early at 644. But either way, both hit lah. So all good. You close earlier or when you see a potential red candle. Yeah, okay lah, 645. If you never move, it also hit. You close early, difference of $100 is nothing much for Bitcoin lah, right? The percentage if you measure probably about 0.05%, right? Not much difference. Yeah. So yeah, it's always good when it's approaching resistance, and especially if you're happy with the profit, or you see the potential of it getting more challenging for it to continue pushing up, then close early, right? That's fine. Okay, so yeah, it's a good trade, right? You wake up early and get rewarded for catching a good breakout, right? Because this one, you caught a breakout. If you wait for it to retest, right, then this bullish engulfing candle was closed too high, so that will this candle will eat into your profit margin, right? So good catch. Yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong of taking profit earlier, right? If you're comfortable with the profit, right? A profit is a profit. You have entered hype long. Hype. Okay, let's see hype. Hype long at 69. Oh, yeah. $69.015. Oh, when it break above 200 MA, okay. And the trend, if a trend turn bearish, is it better to cancel the trade or close with a limit at stop loss nearer to entry price if you are able to? Okay. I mean, if we look at hype now, right? Previously, although there's a 200 MA, right? There's a 200 MA. Also, there is a. This is not a horizontal line. Yeah. Right. You can actually see there's a double top or even triple top, if you look. All right. So apparently, when this one break down, right? Roughly, we can see this one actually form a support with this double top, right? So even before it actually break above the 200 MA, right? It actually already broke the neckline of this resistance, right? But of course, because the 200 MA is right there, even if you saw it just now at 5 p.m., right? You will want to wait for this to happen because then it break another resistance, right? So if you already long here, first of all, your stop loss should be at least here, right? This is the most recent low. In fact, it will be better if you put below the previous low, which is this support, because obviously this is a very major support, right? So if you enter like that, right, then at least below this support is your stop loss. Then now you are actually having the price very near to the entry, correct? And then this neckline of the double bottom just now, right, is actually now potentially, right, serving as a support for it to retest. Because remember, if we are a student, you should know, right, for breakout, there are two ways we trade. One is right at the breakout we enter. Otherwise, we can enter when they retest successfully, right? So right now, this candle, yeah, unfortunately, it won't back below the 200 MA, right? But this support line, right, could potentially hold as a support. So if I'm already in the trade, not financial lines, but if I'm already in the trade, right, I will definitely wait for this candle to close. Because if it closes as a bullish engulfing candle, right, then I can potentially take it as a successful retest and then expect it to go up. But if you're afraid that, okay, what if Bitcoin get rejected because it looks a bit bearish now, I don't want to risk it, then now since you are very near to the entry, right, if you want to close it now with a limit order, you will occur minimum losses, right? In fact, if you wait, maybe it bounce up a bit, you might even close at break even, right? So depends. But if I were you, when I enter the trade, right, definitely the risk has been already been calculated by me. So if this risk is something I'm okay to risk, then I will actually continue to stay in the trade, right? If I like this trade setup and have confidence in it, right? Yeah, this 200 MA here is definitely disturbing. I can see why you so struggle, right? Yeah, because this 200A is like there diagonally kind of looking kind of flipping as support and resistance, right? So up to you, right? So like if you don't feel like risking, like you feel like, okay, today Friday I want to have a peaceful weekend, you are risking about maybe 0.3%, right? Then if you want to close and have a peace of mind, then by all means, right? But trade, like if I wait for 40 minutes more and see if this candle close green or not, then I probably have a better decision, right? Okay, good. When I trade 1 hour, what is the maximum time I will leave the trade open? I will leave for as long as we need to conclude lah. Because honestly, I have no control over the market. If the trade will have to take 10 hours to conclude, there's nothing I can do but wait. If it takes 100 hours to conclude, I wait. Okay. But as I said, if let's say it happens during the weekday, let's say open on Monday, right? Like scenario like this, if it was to happen on, remember just like I said, Tuesday 8 p.m. there's a 8:30 there's a CPI, right? So if I must start at this scenario on Tuesday at night, let's say 7 p.m. already, then I'll probably I'll probably close it early, right? Because rather than stay in the trade not knowing whether it will work out, but knowing that there's definitely a volatility coming, to to save my money, to save my margin, I would definitely rather close it first. Okay, but if it's just like especially now market weekends coming, right, we don't expect much of volatility, then I would rather let it play out. Is there a reasonable threshold percentage when you measure from entry to TP? Example, 30 to 50% too much. 30 to 50% on naked chart definitely sounds too much. But if you are talking about leverage, 30 to 50%, that means on chart, you are measuring like 3 to 5% if you are using 10x leverage, right? Then it sounds, most of the time you can probably measure out such a percentage. Okay, but on naked chart, if you expect 30% to 50% movement, I can't think of much coin that can do that. Okay, but but there's no fixed percentage. Like for example, you look at hyperliquid, right? If I were to long, my final TP will definitely be obviously this resistance here, right? Then that's about 4.9%, right? But if we compare to a different coin, like for example, Bitcoin, right? Someone did the trade just now, use that as example, because you know, like the bigger market coins, right? They don't move that much in terms of the percentage. So for this one, right, obviously if it hit my final TP at this resistance, it's only about 2%, right? So to me, there's no fixed percentage because you can always adjust your leverage, right, to achieve the percentage you want or change your margin size, right? But so that's why when it comes to measuring or deciding this trade, is it worth to take, rather than percentage of the TP, we talk about the risk to reward ratio, right? So it doesn't matter how much am I making, right? But is my risk, right, proportional to my reward, right? That's why depends. Everybody have a different standard or criteria or risk to reward appetite. For me, I will look for a trade that give me at least one risk to reward. That means for some trade like this, if I were to enter, right, when I risk $100, potentially my gain is $100. Okay, so if the risk to reward ratio is even better, then that means let's say it's 2, that 3, or let's say 3, right? Then that means by risking $100, potentially if it hit my final TP, I can make $300, right? So like I said, different coin have different percentage of movement, right? Then when you adjust your margin size, as long as the amount in terms of dollar value you are risking is equal, right? Then the higher the potential TP, of course, the better. But make sure, at least I will make sure I don't risk more than what I can potentially make. Does it make sense? Okay. Okay, later we look at INJ, but let me finish Helena's message. Thank you. Never sleep cause was looking at 3 a.m. then 4 a.m. Oh wait, you didn't wake up at 5. You stayed up until 5. Oh my god, don't do this. You can't. This is not something you should be doing. Or if you want to trade in the long run, don't do this. Stay up all night. It's not good for your health. Okay, next time if you can't find a trade at 1 a.m., go to sleep already. Okay, you wake up next morning and look at the market again. Okay, please don't do this again. Yeah, anyone here is from our CRP members? Yeah, let me take a look. Okay. So if you are in the elite or in the big funder group, you know this is one of the trick call I posted earlier. It just hit TP. Now I'm having the session, so I cannot go inside. But later, I will go in and notify people so you can manage your trade. But if you happen to be watching this, remember to manage your trade. Yeah, you already hit one resistance, right? So de-risk accordingly. Take some profit along the way. Okay, now look at INJ. INJ. Guys, when you ask me to look at something, let me know you want to long or short. Otherwise, how do I analyze? INJ right now, as in you are in the trade already, or you want to see what can you do now with INJ? Because INJ obviously is right at the resistance, right? So if I look at it now, analyze, very simple. It's a resistance. Hold your horses, don't do anything. Either it break out then long, or it pull back and go back up then long. Right? Right now, yeah. So okay, actually INJ INJ and TIA, these two coins, if you compare recently, right, both of them actually, you can see they are definitely in a consolidation ranging phase, right? They are not going trending up. They are ranging here, right? Up and down, but within this price range, right? It didn't really break out and go up, right? So, I mean, so if I look at IJ now, definitely it's not something I want to trade. I will only want to trade it if it break above, right? It break out of this range, then I see more upside, right? Either that or a pullback all the way to the support. Then potentially I can have a better long, because right now within this range and so near to the top, nothing much I can do. Even if I long, the risk to reward ratio won't be good, right? Because the profit margin is very sheer. If I were to short, then again it's already showing a potential uptrend already. Then if I short against the trend, not something I would do. Okay. Okay. Since trading with the trend is encouraged, will I take a breakdown short of a support line when the EMA 200 MA are bullishly aligned? Or does a bullish structure make that a skip? No, trade with the trend and breakout trade are two different strategies. Okay, because imagine if you're on an uptrend, right? Then technically, when you trade with the trend, right, it's where it pull back and holds the uptrend. Right, that means either your horizontal or your trend line support or your horizontal support holds, right? But if the breakout happen, like for example, INJ now is a very good example, right? If obviously now if you look at EMA, they are on the uptrend, right? But if later instead of, if it does pull back, right? If it doesn't break out, it pull back. If it doesn't hold, that means at here it actually break down. Then obviously you know the structure or the uptrend will probably shift, like what we have here. Right? You can see, right? You see, when it was on the uptrend, but when it pulled back that time, let me draw nicely. Right, so when it pulled back that time, it actually went below. Instead of getting rebounds here, it actually went below. Then what happened is, following the price breaking down, following the price breaking down, the trend also shift. You can see the EMA crossing. Yeah, so when it break down, then obviously your trend will change. Then that's no longer a trade with the trend or against the trend already, right? Because your trend most likely by then will be, the structure won't be there already. Yeah, with leverage, Helena, yeah lah. So the 30 to 50, if you're looking for 10x leverage, then 3 to 5 is, most of the chart can give you that much of a change of percentage. Definitely not Bitcoin lah. Bitcoin, if you want the 3 to 5% change, it would probably take a long time, right? Not something you can achieve in a day. Likely lah, right? There are days of pumping, but you are in this long trade at the moment with INJ. Okay, if you are already in the trade, right, then you need to let me know what time you enter, what's your entry, what's your stop loss. Then I can analyze my, right? Let me. Okay, I will leave the INJ chart on. You type me the lines. Okay, then we go through. LIT. Well, LIT, okay, this one is a pretty clear trade setup, right? Like this one was my trend line, right? Then obviously it had a breakout. That's where I called too long, right? But obviously in the past few hours, while other coins, when other coins break out, they go, like you see a lot of green candles. IT was kind of weak. It actually still like ranging around this line, right? So right now we're in slight profit. So same thing, right? This still at this resistance line up and down, right? So same law. Then now our only hope lies with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin later break up or continue go up a little bit, then there's a chance we can at least hit our first TP, right? But if it doesn't, then or if later because now it's 10 o'clock, right? So in 2 hours time, it will definitely give us the answer, right? If you feel like, I think Bitcoin, I don't see Bitcoin having the opportunity to break out. I don't have confidence in this. Then you can close now, right, with a slight profit, right? But for me, as I said, for every trade I go in, I already pre-calculated the risk to reward ratio is something I can accept. Then if nothing like there's no like major news or financial event coming, I will leave it run. Okay, but if you feel like I don't want to hold on anymore, this is so the price, you can see the candle, the price struggle is real, right? Then you can close early now lah. So up to you. For me, I'm just letting it play out lah. Right, so these two actually very similar. These both LIT and LTC, right? One is breakout of trend line, one is breakout with my horizontal line, slash the 200 MA, right? It just that compared to other coins, right, where like for example, you look at like INJ, right, just now when it was pumping this afternoon, right, they actually have a solid length of body for their green candle. But these two are very weak, right? Light is even weaker compared to LTC. But what to do? I picked them, so I have to have a little faith in them myself, right? But if you, as I said, if you don't feel comfortable holding, then now since it's in profit, you can close it first. Okay, now we're back to INJ. Oh, 2% asking for this. Okay, let me see. Will I see 200 MA as a resistance? Yeah, definitely. Like you can see, right? The support and resistance are reversible. So you can see, when it's above, then sometimes it can hold as a support. But if it cannot hold, then break down, then this can also serve as a resistance. So at this moment, when the price is basically crossing up and down with 200 MA, it's definitely not something I like to trade, right? It's too hard. It's too many. It's like the chart basically look too messy, right? But for someone who's already in the trade, let's take a look. You will set the stop loss at 2.505. Okay, sure. Okay, so if it's stop loss, you also close with profit. Sure. Smart. Good choice. Okay, Roy. Good job. INJ. Let me enter the lines. Okay, you enter at 4.922. Oh, so it's a long. Okay. 4.922. Oh? How? Oh, 4.922. I assume happened at 6 o'clock, that candle. 4.922. Stop loss is 4.712. And then TP 5.047. Oh. I assume you did a breakout trade. I mean, my resistance is here, but as we always say, right? Support and resistance are very subjective. So I assume your resistance is lower. Okay, let's say assume your resistance here. So when it go above, you take it as a breakout, right? So either that or you jump the gun. That means that you see the candle going up, like maybe your resistance was higher, but when you see the candle seems going above this, you went in already, right? Because the fact is when the candle actually closed, it was actually not, it didn't really went that high lah, right? So this is why we say, always wait for the candle to close. Unless you tell me your resistance is even lower here, then yeah. But the thing is, when you decide your resistance, always try to look back to the past, right? You can see in the past the price, right? Although it start in this range, but every time the highs are actually of a different price, right? Some are higher, some are lower. So it's very hard to have a determined or clear resistance. This one I would avoid, right? So I don't know, based on lower resistance, or is it because when the candle still forming you enter already, that's why you got into this trade. But to me, it doesn't look like a proper breakup yet. Okay, then based on your trade setup, it also doesn't make sense to me for this particular trade, because your stop loss is 4%, your potential TP only 2.5%. That means risk to reward is 0.6. So that means, let's say you are risking $100, potentially you are only making 60. So this trade setup doesn't look very ideal to me. Around lunchtime here, lunchtime, your lunchtime what time? Your it only went that high because your entry was 4.922 leh. It only went that high either in afternoon or morning, right? So, or maybe this one, you had your lunch at 10. I mean, either way lah, like, I don't know where is a resistance, but it doesn't look like a proper breakout to me. So now if you are in this trade, the best case scenario is like Bitcoin go up, right? At least it come near your entry again, you can de-risk some, or at least, or even close it, right? And wait for a proper breakout to enter. But yeah, I don't like this trade setup. $10 a.m. 10 a.m. impossible ma. I mean 10 a.m. Yeah, obviously, unless you saw the candle about to close above and then jump the gun. Otherwise, when it close like this, you definitely won't enter long, right? Because it's no matter where is a resistance, this one is definitely below. Okay, welcome. So next time, always wait for candle to close. Okay, be it long with the trend, trade with the trend or breakup, always wait for the candle to close. Because sometimes even for bouncing, right, you see the candle close green or red, right? Closing red or green, but in the last 5 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, it could change, right? So no point risking just for that. Okay, understand that you guys are asked to do $1 trade, but however, in the system for CoinW and Bitfunder, the amount is too small, especially for BTC and Solana and big cap coins. Is it okay we use 20 or 30? As long as you use the minimum trading margin, right, it's fine. because the bigger market cap coin, right, or bigger value coins, they don't allow small amount because you just simply cannot even buy one contract, right? Then you just use whatever smallest amount that is allowed. That's fine. For double bottom, after breaking neckline already, but later the price go back below the neckline, will I still have enter? Oh, I mean, if after breaking the neckline, that means the candle closed above the neckline. Then if I enter breakout, I will enter lah, right? Like just now the INJ, no INJ. What's a coin just hyperliquid? I think. Wait. Not this. I think hyperliquid. Yeah, so using this as example, right? If this is a net line, it close above means it close above, right? Ignore the 200 MA lah. Okay, so let's say this is my neckline, right? If it close above, that's a breakout to me. I will long. Later it go back to the below the neckline, right? Then that's the process you need to hold ma. That's what stop loss are for ma, right? So let's say you expect it to go up from there, but later it actually pull back, right? Then depends on where you put your stop loss, right? As long as it's still above your stop loss, you are still in the trade, right? Then it could potentially become a retest, right? The support could be anywhere, right? The previous support or new next support, you don't know, right? But if it pull back and it doesn't touch your stop loss, then what are you gonna do, right? You cannot just change your trade plan just because it went back below your entry, right? After you enter the trade. Bitcoin. Let me see. Bitcoin. This one, no? Right. So if it close below, I enter here lah, right? Later if it come back below, as long as it doesn't break my trend line, I hope. Same thing for here. If I enter here, right, then it come below, my stop loss is still at least here ma, right? Below my support. Then it never touch. Right? And in fact, if I don't look at it, I wouldn't know it actually went below my entry after I'm in position. Okay. Amazon. I start to trade all the stock coin already. Okay, you shorted 244.97. Oh, what time? Like when? Today or Wednesday? $244.97. TP 237. 237. Stop loss 261. 237. Wow. Oh. When do you enter the trade? LYD. Kalamani. Amazon, how do you enter at 244.97? Last week? Earlier this week? Okay, I'll leave the chart first. Wait for more details. Let's look at here. TPR. Oh, I was eyeing it earlier, but I didn't enter. You entered long at 0.3999. 3999. TP at 4251. Oh, wow, you entered very long time ago. Here. Okay, good. You caught a. Yeah, let me remove my line first. Okay, good. You caught the whole upside. Although, how you enter based on trade with the trend. Because if we break out, it will be at least here lah, 446. Okay, not bad. I mean, it did went up, so you got more profit margin by doing this. And it hit your TP, so all good. But this trade, it did a trade with the trend. Because, I mean, this one same as INJ, just I mentioned, right? These two were both, like, to me, like, they start in the range. So personally, I would prefer to trade only when they break up. So compared to INJ, TI is definitely a better option. But I won't enter here. If for me, I would enter here when they break up from my resistance. Then I will catch less profit than you, but okay, it's a good setup. Right, the high point of it is 4252, just nice. Your TP 4251, so you got the profit. Congrats. Suddenly got a lot of message. Wait, let me go back. LYD, July 9. July 9, 1 p.m. Wow, even earlier. Here. Okay. Along with the trend. Okay. I mean, if you have a trend line, something like this, then yeah, it's kind of along with the trend, but your entry will actually consider high for along with the trend. And your stop loss consider quite tight. But okay, good for you, it worked out. So all good. Congrats. Right, definitely not a trade setup I would do myself, but good that it works for you. Right. Okay, wait. I think I missed some message. Wait, let me scroll back. Oh, the Amazon one. Yeah. Wednesday. Here lah. Okay. Wait. Okay, about here lah. So what is this trade based on? I don't see the logic behind this trade, right? Because unless, I mean, if we break down 200 MA, you short here, I understand. Short here, unless you drew a support line here. But on 1 hour, you enter when the candle is still falling. So what, you just saw the price drop and then you jump right into it. Because I don't see any logic behind this trade. 4 hour, even worse, it was above the 200 MA. Alright, I mean, yeah, what is this trade based on? Do you have an answer to yourself? Okay, and then also, if I look at this trade, I mean, if I were to look for take profit, I mean, yes, technically it went there at one point, right? It could be a support to take profit at, but there's also this support, like obviously, right? Here, right? Do you see the lows touching here? right? So if I were to short, which I won't, right, along the way when I hit here, I will definitely do some take profit and move my stop loss, because I don't know which time frame you trade on, but if on 4 hours, I will definitely not gonna go naked and wait. I mean, on with this trade with my stop loss this far, and then hope that it will break through 200 MA. Right? I will definitely expect this to be a strong support. On 1 hour, it also doesn't make sense to me. And honestly, I mean, it's a stock chart, right? So the chart looks just kind of ugly on small time frame. If you look at one daily chart, which if I trade stock, usually I look at daily chart, it also it doesn't make sense to me. It's always a practice of us to position the stop loss under 3 EMA and 200 MA, or is it okay for us to place stop loss below 3 EMA only, as 200 MA act as a magnet, as a support as well, if you recall correctly? Yeah, so if possible, always put your stop loss below the major support, which tend to be our 200 MA, right? Right, but sometimes, for example, when you are trading and the stop loss, if you know, when you measure, you realize when you put under the 200 MA, it will be too far, then you can adjust accordingly. But knowing that when the price is so far from 200 MA, and 200 MA is work like a magnet, so what if the trade you take is a time that the price being drawn to your magnet, right? So if you put your stop loss, let's say you're long here, right, and then you put your stop loss above the 200 MA, what if the time you enter the trade is the time it go down all the way to 200 MA, right? How to draw the slanted trend line as support and resistance? You go to the lines option. The first one is called a trend line, right? You click on it and then you draw on the chart by drawing the lows or highs, right? So for a trend line, we same as support and resistance, we try to have the line touching at least 3 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The more the merrier. And if it's a downtrend, you draw it this way, like that. Okay, and then you can draw already. Then you press and hold and adjust it lah. Okay, yeah. So if one draw is not nice, it's okay. You can pull and adjust until it looks nice and it touch all the points. Okay. ING again. Why I like ING so much? I really don't like this chart. It's stuck in a range, right? Like, I mean, yeah, if we break down, triple top, right? Then your net line is here. Then if you want to short, obviously I want to short if you go below the 200 MA, right? It's so close already. Then can it be potentially a breakdown short setup? Yes. But do I like this chart? No. Okay. Your risk to reward ratio is like barely half, right? See, if it's short, let's say close below your 200 MA, your stop loss need to be above the resistance, right? Then your TP is obviously on the support, right? So barely can make out a good risk to reward ratio. What for? Look for other coins to trade lah. On the stochastic RSI slope rule, one for long should be upslope start from near oversold around 20, and for short from near 80 pointing down. Yes, ideally you want it to bend, like U-turn and point into the below the 80 and point up above the 20. Right, but that's for a trade with the trend. The direction, I mean, there are times it doesn't complete, like go up above, right, or go up a bit. But ideally, we want to see it complete the whole cycle. That means go above 80 and then come back down. Sweet. 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 Okay, sweet. Okay, I leave the chat here again. If you want to ask for a coin setup, let me know what direction you are looking for, what time frame. Okay, just throw the word there. I can't analyze anything. Okay, Terry, I give you a minute to type up. If not, or also for other people, right? If you have any question, do type it. Now it's 10:20. If not, wait for Terry's message. We analyze Sui, and then we call it a night. Oh, breakout strategy, RSI, what does it got to do with pointing up or down? Are you sure about Namja? Your no, okay, then you got it wrong for a breakout. Okay, then you might need to rewatch your technical analysis to know what are the criteria for RSI when you're using it to refer to breakout trades. Okay. Sorry, no question. Okay. BNB 1 hour long. BNB. BNB 1 hour long now. It doesn't look like a long to me. Okay, right now this candle still got half an hour lah. But even if it close above, it doesn't look like a good long setup. Yeah, let me take a I mean, if you wait for it to this candle, be it close above or below the 200 MA, right? Because here it looked like a mini double top to me. So I'm not that bullish with this chart. Ideally, if it does if it touch the trend line later, right, and then actually rebounds with a bullish incoming candle, then it looks better. Right now, this doesn't look like a good long setup to me, right? Because even if it close back up, unless this candle really close back all the way up, like very, very long green candle, that later lah, in half an hour time, it closed like that. Right, then it could be a breakout long. Or a close actually close like that I don't like also, because it's still showing a potential double top. I don't like. No, I won't consider long on BNB now. If this happen, then maybe I can consider. Right, but then that means I need at least one more candle, or maybe two more. I don't know. Dot. dot broke out just now this evening. Is it still possible to trade this? 200 MA is I mean, is there a possibility to trade this? Definitely, but obviously not now lah, right? If trade, I see two potential. One, same thing, if it break above, right? Because right now this is a consolidation period, right? Either it break above, I long, or a pullback and retest go up. But the thing is, right now when I look at dot, I mean, I don't know, right? We need to wait and see where it stop. Because it could be 200 MA, it could be this support, it could be even this support, right? Which it broke up previously. So, I mean, it pumps so much, definitely I'm expecting it to retrace, right? Then I would prefer to wait until it retrace finish already, like you see here, right? Retrace, find a support, and then bounce back from there. Then I look for long. Right now, after it pumps so much, I mean, personally, I will avoid a coin that just pump a lot, right? Because like how much higher can you go? Okay. Next, if you have a 50, or you have a 50, then you want to get what? Link. Okay, Link looks slightly nicer, right? It didn't pump that much. It broke out today, and then it went up, hit this resistance, not the very high resistance. It hit this more recent resistance here. Right, you see here? And then come back down. Now also, but this thing, because it didn't pump as high, so it's actually still around this trend line, but definitely now you entered yesterday day time frame. Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, day time frame. Wow, we have yesterday day time frame as 7.612. $7.612. Stop loss. Oh, this one is a short. Yeah. Stop loss 7.966. Oh. Short. Interesting on daily time frame. Short with the trend, I guess, because on small time, like it was on a downtrend, and it got rejected from 50 EMA, come down. But if you enter on daily time frame, then why will you enter when it's a green candle? If you enter on Wednesday, I will understand, because 3 red candle, you expect it to continue to go down. But it's a green candle, then it doesn't look that ideal to short, right? But if you trade based on red candle, ideally, I mean, if this doji, this like a hammer, right, is not there, then if this is a bearish engulfing, if you short here, then it's a good short with the trend setup, right? Because it's a downtrend and then going down. But when it's a green candle, then you short it. Is there a reason why? You enter after breakup. You trade on daily frame and then you refer to 4-hour support. Okay. 7 point. Okay, if you consider this as a breakout on 4-hour time frame, I can see why you enter. But again, this is on Wednesday. So Thursday, definitely you look at 4-hour or daily, it's all showing a bounce up direction. Then why would you short? I don't quite get it. Even you consider this as a breakout and retest, where's your successfully retest candle? I don't see it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, good that you have a stop loss. So when they pull back, at least you get stop out, right? But that trade doesn't make sense to me. LTC. What happened to LTC? Oh, it dropped. Yeah, let me see. Now what time? 10. Okay. So now it dropped. What do you mean by drop so much? It's basically it didn't move much around the entry, right? Just now when it hit your TP, didn't I tell people who are in this trade? In watching this live, I told you all to take profit and move your stop loss. Do you not? So if you did, now you should be out of this trade already, right? If you already took 50% and never moved stop loss, now you kind of, net you are still probably in profit, right? So it's up to you whether you want to hold. I was hosting this session. If I wasn't, just now when it hit my TP, I take 50% profit and move my stop loss. Now I'm out of this trade already. Why are you still holding on? I'm doing the trade. I'm doing the session. What are you doing? Our dot. Didn't we went through dot just now? For our dot. Can I look if okay to trade? Now cannot right? Because it's below the resistance and 200 MA. You want to long, you wait for it to break up. You want to short, you wait for this rejection candle to happen, which won't happen in 1 hour until 1 hour 20 minutes later. Okay? Okay to trade or not? Not okay now. Later then you see. Okay? Oh, how do you want to trade now? Right? Now one green candle also never break out. You cannot long. Short, no rejection, how to short? Come long after breakout from resistance and 17.7 at 6 o'clock. So I think daily candle, hourly candle 6 p.m. 18. you long. Okay, your entry 17.17. Stop loss is 16.76. TP 18.37. Oh, oh, okay. Looks like your TP survived by 0.01 cent, right? So now this red candle, I mean, nobody knows whether it will go down further or it will pull back because haven't closed, still got 20 minutes, right? But in terms of this trade itself, it looks fine. If I draw a more recent trend line along the 200 MA, it was showing a starting of an uptrend, right? Because it held above the 200 MA, right? And then it's turning into uptrend. Breakout wise, okay, I would see breakout line. Okay lah. Let's say you draw your breakout line around this level. Then like that ish, because this candle, I mean, depends on where your resistance is, right? Yeah, it's yeah. Then you could enter anywhere within this candle lah, right? Then now for breakout, what happened is when it pulled back retest, it didn't hold, right? It break through the support now. So now nothing you can do, is already in red. So wait lor. If this candle later pull back, and you are lucky that you got out of this without hitting a stop loss, then it go back. Otherwise, if you hit a stop loss, then this trade is out. Okay, but if I look at it, likely you can do a trade with the trend earlier when it bounce here and come out from the retracement zone, right? But either way, unless you take profit here, otherwise you will definitely be in red now, right? And no chance for you to move your stop loss. Then in that case, right now, all we can do is wait lor. But very lucky, stop loss. I mean, it's haven't closed, we don't know, but just now it almost touched, right? But missed by 0.01. It's just like my LTC earlier, missed my TP by 0.01. Otherwise, I would have taken profit and moved my stop loss way earlier. Okay, so that's for com. Let's pray hard for the. Just now you asked stop loss for hyperliquid. It hit your stop loss at 68. I mean, it went below 68, ma. That's why it hit your stop loss. What do you mean you can't find a reason that it hit your stop loss? Your stop loss 68.159 here. Now it's below, it's 67 something. Of course it hit your stop loss. Now remember just now when we analyzed, this looks like a green candle, but see what happened after it closed? It closed completely red and continued dropping from there already. That means Bitcoin at the moment probably pulling back also. Let's take a look. Yeah, see, just now Bitcoin pullback. So as I said, everything follow ma. So your hyperliquid also drop a lot. It definitely went below your stop loss. Marigold Kate. Yeah, so as I said, your link, if you trade on daily time frame and refer to 4-hour, it already doesn't make much sense. All right, then if you refer to 4-hour alone, it did break out and trade dark soldiers, yes, correct. But when you enter, like, you are literally seeing a green candle, right? So next time, try to find a trade that more aligned with the direction you plan. AR. AR entering at 11 p.m. short. 11? Oh, this candle close. I mean, when you tap this question, you tap at 10:40. When did it drop this much? 10:40. Yeah, so just now, I mean, yeah, is it a drop? Yes, but this candle dropped so much. So even if later it closed like a continuation of bearishness, I wouldn't want to short because usually it drop and then suddenly got pushed back. Then that means probably there's actually a strong support holding. That means there might be a lot of buy orders holding, right? Then if it does close all the way red, this candle alone, if it moves, if it close this much from the resistance, I wouldn't want to short because to my next support left so little only compared to how much this candle have eaten up. I wouldn't want to short. If I saw it at 9 o'clock, right, when this 8 o'clock candle closed below 200 MA, then I might want to short. Because if I short from here, right, even if I pull my stop loss all the way up, okay, I'll be below the previous high, I still have a relatively good margin for my profit, right, 2%. If I trade after this candle close, I don't know where it closes, but either way, the profit margin left for me is not that much already. I don't want. Oh yeah, TP even lower, 1.8. 1.841. Wow, I want the TP here. Wow, that must. Then you. Wow. Very optimistic here. I mean, can is can, but if you short, make sure along the way at every stop, every potential support, pause and take some profit. Right? Good to be optimistic lah, but practical wise, when you actually, if you really enter this trade along the way, make sure, I mean, we aim for the best, but do prepare for slightly not so good situation where it stop here and go up, stop here and go up. Okay, for it to go all the way down, the market must be very, very bearish, or there's a really bad, huge drop. You didn't monitor, miss the TP. You are in this session. Just now my alert rings. I already told you guys. I even said whoever free go shout out in the group chat. But it's okay if you never TP just now. Let's see, where are we now? I mean, we are still at entry. So if you felt like since it got rejected from the resistance, then high chance it won't go up already. Then you want to get out now, also can. break even. No? Just now there was a sudden drop. So, but now it's pulling back. So we don't know, right? But you want to play safe because 10 minutes left, right? You want to play safe, can cut now, but I will wait for 11. No? Okay. Okay, I think that's all the card. Answer and pray. Need to pray already. Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, hyperliquid just now the breakout somewhat valid. It just the annoying thing is because 200 MA there. Like so, it's like there's two resistance for it to break. So yeah, but now although it got rejected again, but it hasn't. Hopefully, hasn't hit a stop loss, right? So if just now you didn't manage anything about this trade, then same you together with the person in what trade was that? Dot or comp, right? Both of you pray hard lah. Don't hit a stop loss and go back. Okay, we still got, as I said, we still got 1 hour until 12, right? You don't know, like at the last hour, the Bitcoin gonna close red or green, right? Yeah, I think hyperliquid is. I mean, if it wasn't for 200 MA being there, I would have long it too. Just, yeah. Okay, so I mean, let's pray lah. All right, in my hole, you never know. Okay. Right. Okay, any more questions? If not, we will call it a night. I hope everyone have a great weekend. Right? And then next week, ready to brave the market again. It is what it is. Yeah. Right. Hyperliquid this week is not recovering very well compared to other coins. Right. In fact, I mean, for Hyperliquid being such a bullish coin, supposedly even earlier this week I would expect it to break above already, go back up already, but it didn't. So it is what it is, like you said. Okay. GUP. One last coin. Okay, guys, wait for last minute. Oh, okay. GUP is breaking down, but it's approaching another support here. I don't want a short. If it break down this support, then it looks nicer to short. Not now. Yeah, because it break below 205, it already moved quite a lot within this range. Not nice. Oh wow, okay. Okay, thanks everyone for tuning in. I see you all next Friday. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Funder, right, is actually nothing new. It's what we call a prop firm platform that is used to be available in many other assets. And then Bitfunder is the one that focuses in crypto trading. How it benefits our students is because this basically is a platform that provides you the funds to trade with, which you can trade, make profit, and take your share of profits, right? So for people who are not like comfortable or ready to invest big amount, big sum of like real cash of their own pocket, it helps for them to leverage other people's funds so that with a small funds they're paying, they get to receive a challenge account that they can use for trading and generate profits and get their shares in it.
Okay, so the CEO came today. So one of the things that I like about is his journey. Like he used to from Forex, then after that how he started the prop firm. I think his mission is in like to teach people how to trade properly, which is good. And of course, Carlos sharing of how he actually plays a trade, whereby he shared that he only trade Bitcoin most of the time, is something new to me lah. Yeah, so yeah, that is something that I will also be looking at. Trade more Bitcoins than the altcoins, which quite sort of like align with what I plan to do as well.
One thing I like about Bitfunder is that I must give credit to Bernard, because besides introducing us to this account, he also teach us how to trade using Bitfunder and what are the rules to observe so as not to burst the account. So that's one thing I think many of the members really appreciate Bernard for that. And I think it's a good cause that MWA did bring in for the student.
Bitfunder is being introduced to me by MWA, of which I was very, very grateful and thankful. Yeah, and with Bitfunder, I think I can go a much further way and make a lot more money and learn careful trading instead of reckless trading. And that's a good thing.
Hey guys, we just wrapped our event with Bitfunder, one of the world's leading crypto prop firms. And the idea is very, very simple. We fund you, you trade. Minimal downside to you and unlimited upside in terms of profits for you as well. Again, check us out, Modern Wealth Academy and Bitfunder.